here with Mr. Dsuave. Dsuave from ThoughtProcess Media. How you doing today, Dsuave? Yeah, you doing good? How was the drive here?
Not too bad. Had to deal with your camel crossing, but yeah, we got through that.
Okay.
Not too bad.
Okay, well, hey, before we get started, I do have some sponsors, and just want to let everybody be aware that our sponsors will be local small businesses instead of large corporations, because we are all small businesses, or we all started as small businesses, and we want to support. So here's our first small business. So we are back here with Dsuave, ThoughtProcess Media. So tell me a little bit about this ThoughtProcess Media. What is it? What is that all about?
It is for the most part the visual art form of photography and video. Whatever that encompasses.
Okay, all right. Sounds pretty broad.
Real
pretty broad.
Fancy name for something kind of simple, right?
Oh, okay. You must have some fancy cameras, right?
Yeah, a couple of them. One or two, not too many.
Okay. Is it? Do you focus on more photography or video, and what sort of content?
For the most part, photography is what pays the bills. It's everything that the foundation of thought process means to me.
Okay.
I'm venturing into doing a lot more video than before.
Okay.
I work with a company, HMJ Films. I think it's called Global Touch Media as well, depending on the client.
Okay.
We do a lot of collaborations on music videos and other productions.
Okay.
But my main company is photography.
Yeah.
Maybe like model portfolios. It may be, it's lots of things. It could be product shots. It could be weddings. It could be aerial photos. It could be.
So it's pretty broad. You encompass a lot of the lifestyle aspect of photography, right? So it's not a lot of commercial. It's more intimate, personal, right? Type
I can't say not a lot. It depends on the phone call.
Sure, I understood.
I do corporate headshots.
Right.
I do the corporate headshots, and I do like I say, like the real estate stuff. And I get those calls.
Cool.
It's abundance of that for that moment, when it's hot.
Gotcha.
When it's a seller's market, versus the buyers. It's a little bit different. It shifts. But either way, they both will need it.
So, understood.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
Quick question: What made you get into photography? What was your inspiration? You roll out the crib and you landed on a camera or something. How did all that transpire?
It actually was forced upon me. I had no interest in it, none at all. I did not have an idea that photography was something that I thought I could do. I enjoyed it from, a observer's perspective. Like, oh, that's nice. I kind of like that, but I didn't want to do it. It was graphic design that I was really into. The graphic design led me to a client that needed to have photography done. We couldn't get a photographer, and here I am holding this camera.
Right.
And weirded out, and like I don't know, but he's like, yeah, this is my photographer, Dsuave, and I'm like, oh, here we go. So I have to get through this.
Right.
I forced myself through it, and it was a whole lot of just awkward for me.
Right.
So I was acting like a photographer in order to get past the photography side of this graphic design job for a magazine.
Interesting.
That led me into getting booked by the same guy again in the same scenario that was weird and awkward, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this again. And somehow the model liked it. Both models liked it.
Right.
He liked it. He booked me for a third job. By this time, I'm like, okay, we're gonna get done with this fake photographer thing so I can get back to my graphic design job.
Right.
In the process, I liked a couple of the pictures and was like, okay, those are pretty nice, but I'll keep doing the photography. I'll keep doing the graphic design thing.
Right.
Until I see a means for photography.
Gotcha. Well, that's good. I mean, I've seen your work. It's really good. Sometimes it's unbelievable, the attention to detail. And, I commend you on, stepping out of your comfort zone, because, we as creatives, right, or even as individuals, when we want to grow, we have to step outside of our comfort zone, right? Because if you're doing the same thing every day, you're not growing, right?
This is true.
Right.
True.
So, it's pretty, it's pretty amazing to hear your story, right? You start off as this graphic guy, and you get forced upon this thing. So
it was definitely an idea that I wasn't ready for.
Okay.
So I got the one phone call, and someone asked me, what do you charge for photo shoots? And I was like, can I call you back? Like,
right. It's new.
What do I do?
You've never been in this situation.
I was a graphic designer loving the design aspect of it,
Right.
And now it's the opposite, where the graphic design complements my photography, opposed to the photography complement my graphic design.
Okay. So let me ask you this: what about for fun? Is this, like a hobby? Now do you have? Is it now fun, or do you do anything outside of this? Does it feel like work?
It is, man. How do I explain this? It's something I never anticipated doing, and I'm in love with it. I am totally wrapped up in this thing. It is the process of doing it that I'm so attracted to.
Yeah.
It is my everything. It's not even money. It is the process of making people happy and doing, like, the opportunity to do it more.
Yeah. Okay. Let me rephrase. let me rephrase the question.
So, hobbies. Hold on. You just said something about hobbies.
Yeah.
It is like, it's all encompassed. My hobbies are like video games and things of that nature that may inspire some more creativity. My hobbies are things of that nature. Like, I like simple things like, movies and stuff. That's hobbies for me.
Yeah.
I don't have, it's not a hobby. I didn't have a chance for it to be a hobby. It was work before I knew what I was doing.
Gotcha.
It was a job that I just got thrown into, like, here, you're doing this.
Right.
Okay,
all right. And then now you.
So yeah, I never had a chance to do that.
It's work and fun, right? Because
it's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you video games and movies. What kind of games you play? And
I used to be really competitive, but it is an addiction that I can't shake. I stay away from some of the shooters and some of the things that are very, very popular, because I won't be able to make a choice between paying bills and
no
beating some 12-year-old in China and just talking mess to me.
Right.
So yeah, I play with the games where it's me against the machine. Role-playing games and things of that nature. Single-player games for the most part.
Yeah.
It's my getaway.
Gotcha.
Handful of VR games and stuff. Whatever. I can step out for a little bit, but then I get back to my addiction, which is my passion and my thing that pays the bills.
Photos and videos and such. Okay, all right. So, we talked a little bit about your photos and some videos briefly with music videos. Are you gonna do any sort of short film? Where are you looking to target ThoughtProcess Media, or the direction as it relates to video, right?
When it comes to video, I watch films that I admire and I wish I could be a part of that project. I think the easiest thing to say is I want to direct, right? But it's a glorified job. But once I watch a film and I admire it and I sit there, the credits are like 5 minutes, just names. Right now I'm trying to find out which one of those names would fit me best. And then I would move maybe up the list or sideways depending on what I'm more attracted to. So
Awesome.
I'm trying my hand at different
That's good.
areas
Hey, you know
in
what?
the meanwhile. You know,
We'll circle right back to the beginning. You're stepping outside your comfort zone to
Yes.
grow, right? You know, I think that's a pretty interesting approach. You know, one of the things that I wanted to do here, you know, with the streaming is I want to be able to give to our viewers, right, something that they can utilize now, right? It isn't, and I think I mentioned, you know, don't do drugs, right? I mean, okay, yeah, that's, right, that's helpful, but you know what I mean? It's not really, you know, too helpful. But just in listening to you describe, you know, your, you know, part of your process, right? I that is very interesting to watch credits, right? To look at the different individuals and tasks, right? Or I want to say jobs, right? Because it's not relevant. And then looking into that and seeing if that may be something you may be interested in, right? Because again, you weren't into photography. You were just, he was doing graphics, right? I'm doing graphics. And here's the camera. You start doing photos, and now you love it, right? So, you know, I think that is. I mean, I personally learned, you know, something new, because that I hadn't thought of watching the end credits of a movie, right? Right, to get some job ideas, right? To get some,
like,
you know,
man.
That
and you can
is.
only be one.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Are you the
interesting.
first name? How important is that? Is that a job you'd love?
Yeah.
I have learned that finding a job where you love the process of the job is worth more than the money it can make.
Yeah.
Because you become a complete slave to just being a student to it.
Right.
You just have to know more about that thing. And when you love it, it's not work anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I can't wait to get to work. Most people go, I can't wait to get off work.
Right.
But no, I'm not that dude.
Okay.
I'm not that dude.
Awesome.
I did it when I was 13 years old. Since then, I have no longer worked for anybody else. But
okay.
yeah.
All right. So
It's
what?
one of those things.
Yeah. So what are, you know, what are some of the near future plans? Do you have any interesting projects that you're coming up soon?
I have a couple of them. Right now, it's a lot of delay. COVID has been the national excuse for anything that goes wrong.
Okay.
And I like to say, if I don't have a deposit, it's just a conversation.
Fair enough.
And I've had a few that were delayed based on travel and restrictions and whatnot. Let's say a handful of music videos and a couple of travel jobs for destination shoots and one destination wedding. And it's not as targeted as, well, you know, Marvel called me and they want me to, nah.
Right. Okay. All right.
You know, but yeah, there's a couple of irons in the fire, and let's see how that plays out.
Awesome.
I try not to, you know, count my chickens before, you know, they hatch.
All right, good deal. So, do you have a routine as it relates to your creativity? Is there some sort of process that you do intentionally or unintentionally, right?
Okay.
That stirs up some of the creativity.
Okay. It can be an ambiguous question, but as it pertains to what type of job?
Not necessarily a job. You want to get into your creative space, right? Do you have some sort of routine? Is there something that, you know, is there some music to kind of get into your vibe, or, you know, is there just something that there's a pattern that you notice? Right?
When I'm getting creative, it's normally inspired by what my client wants. So it's normally relative to work, because I never had a chance to do it for me.
Okay.
And like a barber that doesn't cut his own hair, me being creative is always based on making someone else happy. So I start out by picking that person's brain and then moving into trying to put myself in their shoes.
Okay.
And then I try to feel it from that perspective. Just being creative to me can be interior design in my space, or it could be lighting style, it could be a certain ambiance with the music and the way it's set. I can be creative in a lot of different ways. I'm a DIY person as well, so I get in and get creative in so many categories that my space happens almost anywhere. I'll sit in a room and try to figure out like what structure was there before the window was there, and if I did it, how else would I get in my creative space randomly. I got a problem, man. I promise you, I do.
Okay.
You know, but I try to start out with what I think people want to see, or what would make people feel better about whatever this thing is. Whether it's decorating my home or my studio space, or it's trying to improve the way I interact with clients. My creativity can just be creating a user experience, let's say an experience with my clients, a better experience. You know, I can just stare at something and say, if I was here, what path would my eyes travel in this room? What would I change about it to improve it? Will I put this on the right, or should I move it to the left? Because people read from left to right. Like that's me, and you know, it's a rabbit hole question.
yeah. I'm sure.
I'm crazy, man.
I was just, I didn't know if there was like some sort of routine you kind of get into. Like, okay, I'm gonna, I change my lighting, and I kind of, all right, I'm gonna work on something, or when you're gonna jump into something. So I guess
Now, if it was targeted like photography, retouching. Okay, yes, I go into a certain lighting mode for retouching, and I'll have a certain playlist that might get me going. But at the same time, I might have a movie playing on one of my screens and something else over here.
Okay.
I'm random, man.
Awesome.
I'm random.
Awesome.
I get it anywhere, man.
Okay.
But when you love it, it's totally different. When you got to go to work, you have to go through this, and that. I don't have any rules. Right. No one tells me when to go to bed. No one tells me when to wake up. It's more like my clients determine all of that for me. And I live to make them happy. So
awesome. Oh, that's good.
That's my blessing.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. So, I mean, I greatly appreciate you coming, and this being the the first episode, right?
Yeah, I hope it doesn't bomb. You're like, get that guy out of here, man.
We'll I'll find out shortly when when I hit the stop stream button, right? And I look back and see where it is. But just like anything, you don't have to be great, right, to start, but you got to start to be great.
That's
right?
real. That's real.
Here I am starting, as much as I've discussed doing this show, getting started, and
man, your space is nice, man. Your space is nice.
Appreciate
I like
it.
this.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's nice and cozy. With pillows.
Yeah, I hope I'm anticipating more activity here, right?
Nice,
More activity here. So, all
and
right.
And the bike is beautiful. I like that.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah, that's my happiness right there.
Looks like I kind of matched your theme a little bit today by accident.
I got a thing for red.
Yeah, this is nice. This is nice. I like it. I like it.
All right, Mr. Dsuave. Again, appreciate you coming here and sharing some of your wisdom. And
thanks for inviting me to Castro's Castle.
Hey, not a problem at all. Not a
I like
problem
this.
at all.
I like this. This is definitely a creative space.
All right.
Nothing else.
All
Love it, man.
Well, thank you. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed watching this first episode with Dsuave from ThoughtProcess Media. And just to echo what I just said a little while ago is you don't have to be great to get started, but you got to start in order to be great. Not my words. Well, they're my words because they're coming out of my mouth, but I didn't originate that phrase. So anyhow, everyone listening and looking at this black screen, do something new, step out your comfort zone. Till next time.